Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 80s Parenting Podcast. I am Malinda, and I am here with my friend Heather. Hello, Heather.
Hello.
Hello,
How are
hello.
you?
Good, Heather, good. So,
Good. Glad
if
to hear
you,
it.
what's up?
So glad to hear it.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I'm doing okay. It's starting to get chilly here, Heather.
Lucky.
Like I had to wear sweatpants last night because it was cold.
Really?
Yeah,
I had
indeed.
on
And
shorts
this
and a t-shirt and my air at 76 and I was sweating.
That's funny. The weather is going down, and the time that I do not like, it's lighter. It's gets dark at 7:30
Yeah.
instead of like 8, 9 o'clock at night. I love a late night where it's light out for a very long time.
When does daylight savings time end?
I don't know, sometime in November.
Okay, we got a couple months still.
Yeah, something like that. Or October. It's after Halloween, I believe. I don't know. I
Yeah.
forget every year, and it happens twice a year.
Yeah. I never have to worry about it.
Yeah, I
We
know.
don't participate.
I know. California, every year they say it's going to be on the ballot
Mhm.
to end daylight saving time, but I don't
It
think
got put on the ballot here in
so.
Arizona and it got a resounding no, thank you.
I gotta know. Yeah.
Got a big
Uh,
fat no.
I do like fall back because you do gain an hour.
Mhm.
So that's kind of nice. Anyway, people, enough about the weather. So that when you get old, what do you talk about? Weather
Well, they're ailments.
and what you're going to eat next.
Oh yeah.
Three things. That's all we talk about. What we're gonna eat next, like how much our hip hurts or our toe hurts in the weather that
Yep.
brings on the arthritis. So, so if you're new here, welcome, and I hope you stick around. So Heather and I have known each other for 42 years. You can go back and listen to episode 1 of the podcast, and we tell you how we met. We met
Where
in
it all started, where it
where
all
it
began,
all began in all of its
the
glory,
elementary
Heather.
school playground. Hmm.
That's right. 42 whole years ago. Which is hard to believe since we're like 43. We must have been in preschool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
43 times.
I know. We met 42 years ago and we started doing this podcast about 80s parenting because we had some funny tales when we were younger. And of course, now everyone knows that the Gen X kids are pretty self-sufficient because nobody paid attention to what we were doing when we were younger.
Very
We
resourceful.
very resourceful. We got away with a lot. There was no technology. There was nothing, so we were kind of left to our own devices. And sometimes that worked out and sometimes not so much. But we are here today to tell the tale. Then we decided, since we're in our new 50s, that we were going to look back at things that we took part in when we were younger in the 80s. So movies and foods and nostalgia and pop culture. So we picked topics every week and we do research on them and we dive deep, Heather, into all of these things that we grew up with. And it's fascinating because we didn't look it up then. We were young and who cared? We were
And you
living.
didn't have Google to help you.
We didn't have Google. We didn't have anything, but if we watch something on TV, I guess, like a behind the scenes type situation.
Yeah.
So today, Heather, I have a fun one that I remember going to the movie theater to see this movie. And not only the movie theater, Heather, the drive-in movie theater.
Wow.
And I think you were probably with me. Were you with
Probably.
me? I don't know.
I don't
But
know. Oh, I think I was.
yeah,
Is that the time you ripped your ear?
no,
No.
no,
What were we seeing when that happened? Because that was at the drive-in.
wasn't. No, that my earring ripped out, people, when I woke up. and I had slept with earrings on, and I guess I got it caught on the pillowcase or something, and it ripped out. So it might have ripped more at the movie theater. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought you got it caught on like the mirror or something. I don't know what the hell you were doing.
I don't know. Who knows? I don't remember that far back, Heather. I can barely remember yesterday.
Anyway,
Anyway. So today, oh, that drive-in
yeah.
was right down the street from us, and we would all pile into the car, and then you either backed it in or you pulled forward, and they had speakers that you could put on your car windows,
Yeah.
and then you rolled it up so that it would stay, which stunk because it was so hot in Arizona. So you always had to have the two front windows rolled up so that you could hear the sound,
hmm
and it was extremely hot. So we did a lot of walking around and getting snacks.
Yeah.
So the very first movie I saw there was Secret of Nim.
That was a good movie. That little mouse is so cute.
Noise and Mouse. Yes. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you about E.T. Extraterrestrial, Heather.
Oh, I love
Yay.
ET. I
I
had an
know.
ET themed birthday party.
Did you?
Do you remember that? You were there. I had pictures.
Oh, probably.
My mom made a homemade ET cake that looked like, ET.
I vaguely remember that now that you say that. That's cute. I would love to see those pictures. So, Heather, in 1982, American science fiction film produced and directed by Steven Spielberg and written by Melissa Matson. It tells the story of Elliot, a boy who befriends an extraterrestrial, dubbed ET for
Mhm.
extraterrestrial, who is left behind on Earth.
Poor guy.
I know. Along with his friends and family, Elliot must find his way to get ET back home again. Poor ET.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a bit about the film and the people who were in the film
Okay.
and written and produced it. So Stephen Allen Spielberg, born December 18th, 1946. He's 77 years old now. And I looked up pictures of him, like recent photos. He looks great for
I was to
77.
say, he does not look 77 because I saw him on
No,
something recently and was like,
yeah.
holy crap, when you
I
said that.
know. Yeah, aging well. He's an American filmmaker, a major figure of the new Hollywood era and pioneer of the modern blockbuster movie, which
Indeed.
E.T. was a part of. E.T. was a part
hmm
of being a blockbuster movie. He's the most commercially successful director in film history.
Wow.
Yeah. He
That's
has many a film, and I'll touch on him later when we do another episode because I actually got Steven Spielberg as one of my topics.
nice.
So after Steven's parents got a divorce in 1960, he filled the void with an imaginary alien companion that he later recalled as a friend who could be be the brother he never had and the father he didn't feel he had anymore.
Oh,
Isn't that so sad?
that is.
I know. So he made up E.T. because of his parents' divorce.
Oh,
I know. It makes
that's
me
rough.
want like one of those dolls again.
I know.
I know. So Melissa Marie Matheson was the writer of E.T. She was an American film writer, television screenwriter, and an activist. She was best known for writing the screenplay for the films The Black Stallion and E.T., uh, which she earned a Saturn Award for the best writing and nominated for Academy Award for the best original screenplay.
Wow.
She later wrote Indian in the Cupboard. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah,
It was not such a cute movie.
that was cute.
And the funniest thing about that is after when I was reading this about Steven Spielberg and the divorce, I remember I thought that little tiny creatures lived in my bread box.
After you watched Indian in the cupboard?
No, because Indian in the Cupboard was 1995.
Oh.
So after my father died,
Oh.
I thought that there was little tiny creatures in my bread box in Pennsylvania when we lived in Pennsylvania. And so I must have dreamed about that. And then I would go down every day and look in that little bread box
Aw.
to see if there was the little creatures in there.
See if
So
anybody was there.
when I nobody was there, but when Indy in the Cupboard came out, I was like, "Ah, that's just like the dream I had."
Oh,
Isn't that funny?
that is
So apparently, Melissa had the same
similar
idea,
experience.
similar idea and experience, and but she wrote about it.
Yeah, smart.
Unfortunately, she passed in 2015. So
Oh,
her works were great though. She had many of them. Okay. So a little bit about ET. Aliens secretly visit Earth at night to gather plant specimens in a California forest. So that's how it starts out. So the movie starts out with all these aliens coming down and they're looking in the forest for stuff. Who
yeah.
knows what? I don't think they ever say what they're looking for.
I don't think they do either.
Yeah. One of them separates from the group and he's fascinated by all the city lights. And the other aliens are forced to depart and abandon because all of the government officials find out that these aliens are in the woods. So they're like, peace out.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, little ET got left behind.
Oh,
So he was like the little kid of the aliens,
yeah.
the little son. Um, and then in a nearby neighborhood in the San Fernando Valley, 10-year-old Elliot Taylor,
Hey.
heyo, is suspiciously aroused when he pitches a baseball into a tool shed and the ball is rolled back. Later that night, Elliot returns with a flashlight, discovering the creature among the corn stalks. And the animatronics for the film were designed by Carlo Rambaldi. Let me tell you a little
Okay.
bit about Carlo. Carlo was born in 1925 and passed in 2012. He was an Italian special effects artist who worked on a lot of movies. He was the winner of 3 Oscars, one Special Achievement Academy Award for Best Visual Effects in 77 and 76 for his version of King Kong.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool? So he worked on the animatronics for King Kong. That's
That's
pretty cool.
cool.
Yeah. And 2 Academy Awards for Best Visual Effects for Alien. So that's a big
Good
one
movie.
too. And E.T.
Nice.
Isn't that crazy? That's like 3 huge movies.
Yeah, that's
He
pretty
was
cool.
most famous for the last 2, Alien and E.T., but the for the mechanical head effects for the creatures. So isn't that cool?
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like when you're watching the movie, you don't even think about that someone
No.
built that thing. And the E.T. animatronic was big.
Hmm.
It was almost the size of Elliot, and he was 10.
Yeah.
So it was big. It wasn't like a tiny little alien running around. So Elliot's family, they didn't believe him that there was some creature. And so no one believed him, but Elliot decided that he was going to lure ET into his room by placing a trail of candy,
My
your
favorite.
favorite. And the next morning, he acts like he's sick so he could stay home with ET.
So what
So,
candy was it?
oh yeah. So Spielberg actually approached the makers of Mars candy bars
Hmm.
with the deal to use the M&M in the film.
Yeah.
But he says that they were notoriously, nope, notoriously, I can't say that word.
Notoriously.
Notoriously, thanks. Jesus. Frugal and unpredictable in their business dealings. And so the chief executives, John and Forrest Mars, they said, no, thank you.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And so in 1982, after Mars Candy Bar Company rejected them, uh, Hershey accepted an offer to use Reese's Pieces in the movie.
Yay.
So they use Reese's Pieces.
So delicious.
And yeah, and with the film's blockbuster success, that product increased sales 300%.
Uh-huh. I
Mhm.
bet.
Yeah. So I want to tell you a little, I want to give you a little brief history about that because it's fascinating. So the Hershey Company owns Reese's Pieces, which debuted in 1978. So they
Mhm.
were really popular after that movie in the 80s because they were just invented as an extension of their Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. The history of Reese's candy began in the 1920s when H.B. Reese, an employee at the Hershey Company, started making candy in his basement.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. In 1928, Reese created peanut butter cups, which became his best-selling item. In 1956, after HB's death, Reese's six sons took over the business, and in 1963, they sold it to the Hershey Company. So he
Okay.
actually did have the HB Reese's Candy Company.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they sold it to Hershey uh, in 1963 for $23.5 million.
Oh my God. That's a lot of money back then.
That is so much money. The Reese family received about 5% share in Hershey Company, which is now worth $20 billion for just 5%.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That
Yeah.
is crazy.
Mhm. Okay, so back to the film. Later that day, Elliot introduces his older brother Michael and 7-year-old sister Gertie to the alien.
Yep.
Deciding to keep him hidden from their mom, Mary, was when the children ask the alien about his origin, he shows them levitating balls, which represent the planetary system,
Hmm.
and he demonstrates his powers by reviving dead chrysanthemums. And he demonstrates his healing powers through his glowing fingertip on his middle finger, on his index finger,
Yeah.
to repair a cut on Elliot's hand. The film stars Dee Wallace, Henry Thomas, Peter Coyote, Robert McNaughton, I think, and Drew Barrymore. So a few characters of the film I'm going to tell you a little bit about because they're pretty awesome. Deanna Wallace is the mom. She's an
Hmm.
American actress. She was best known for Mary Taylor. Mm,
Okay.
ding ding. In the E.T. film. And she also was in several horror films. The Hills Have Eyes, The Howling, Cujo, ugh,
Hmm.
another 80s flick. Critters, another one
Oh,
in the 80s.
yeah.
Yeah. Halloween, The House of the Devil, and The Lord of Salem, which I haven't seen those. And so she was a very, very popular actress in the horror industry
Hmm.
of films. Henry Jackson Thomas, he's an American actor. He began his career as a child actor in the lead role Elliot Taylor in E.T. He went on to win several awards, Young Artist Award, Golden Globe Awards. He also did a lot of other films when he was young, Cloak and Dagger, Fire in the Sky, Legends of the Fall, and did a lot of movies as a child actor in VH1's 100 Greatest Kid Stars.
Really?
Yeah, and we did an episode on VH1 if you want to go back
Yeah.
and listen to that. So good old Henry Thomas was a part of that. Um,
I forgot he was in Fire in the Sky. That was a
yeah,
great movie. Did you ever watch that?
Robert McNaughton is an American actor. He's best known for his role as Elliot's brother Michael in E.T. And he also won the Young Artist Award in 1982. And he also did TV and movies over the years. But the most popular actress to come out of that film is Drew Barrymore, who
Yeah.
played Gertie. And I think everybody knows who Drew Barrymore is, an American actress, producer, talk show host, author, and she achieved her fame with her breakout role in this movie, E.T.
Yep.
So pretty cool.
Was this before Firestarter?
Yes,
They had to have been around the same time.
I think so too. They said that, well, I mean, from what I read, according to all the resources that I have, let me let this dog in. Hello, puppy. Come on. Dog break. Dog break. So
Oh,
that
yeah, because Firestarter came out in 1984.
there you go. A couple years later.
Yep.
Yeah, that well, now that you think about it, she's is older in Firestarter.
Yeah.
She's like a little kid in
She's a little bitty and
yeah,
ET.
so how old was she? She was born in 1975. What's 1975 minus 1982?
7.
7. So she was little. So back to the movie. The alien ET was reading a comic strip, Buck Rogers, and then he's so in I never was a fan of Buck Rogers, but I guess in the TV show he made different things, like different invented different things to do different, to do things. So
Okay.
ET took whatever he was doing and decided that he was gonna makeshift a way to communicate back home.
Kind of like an early MacGyver.
An early MacGyver, exactly. Let me let the dog out again. This is going to be a great YouTube. I just keep letting the dogs in and out of my room. So he decided to make something, and this movie had a lot of like props and things that were
Hmm.
made famous in the
Yeah.
80s. So the makeshift communicator used was a speak and spell,
Yep.
a circular saw blade, an umbrella lined with aluminum foil, and a coffee can.
Nice.
So that's cool. So the speak and spell was actually invented in 1978 by Texas Instruments and went through some feature changes in the early 80s. So when it's used in the movie to phone home, it was the newer electronic toy,
Hmm.
and it's still around.
Yeah.
Like they still sell it. Isn't that crazy? It's gone through a couple things. They did have an ET version and everybody was super excited about it.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be some words,
Oh.
some like new words on so you put like a little cartridge in the bottom
Yeah.
of the device, and everyone thought it was going to be like animated and like some
But it
like
wasn't.
ET flying somewhere, but it was just a couple new vocabulary words.
Well, E.T. did a really good job. Like, that's the first movie that I kind of remember a lot of product placement took
Yeah.
place in that movie, like the Speak and Spell. And there's a scene where he's drinking Pepsi and
Mhm.
burping. And somehow, maybe you're going to get to this, but how did it happen that like Elliot was able to sense what E.T. was feeling? Do you remember that? He was at school and E.T.
Yeah.
got into the refrigerator and started drinking all the Pepsi, and then he started burping, and then Elliot started burping in class.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Do you
Because
know?
because he had superpowers and they were connected.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were just connected because he saved him?
I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Makes
did
sense.
maybe. I don't know. Did I write that down? Who knows? Let's see. So on Halloween night, Michael and E.T. dress up, or I'm sorry, Michael and Elliot dress E.T. in a ghost costume to take him out. And E.T., they try to go up to like a top of a mountain so he can call his parents.
Phone home.
Yeah, he can phone home. There was no cell phones then, so and or Wi-Fi, so he
Yeah.
couldn't just, airdrop something to his parents like, "Yo, I'm still alive. Can come, dude.
Come pick me
Uber
up
Uber doesn't go to space."
someday.
Oh, someday. Hey, we should tell Elon about that. Maybe he can do,
I'm sure Elon's watched E.T. a few times. He has small children.
space. I don't know though. He kind of out there. Uh, anyway, maybe he could do Uber space or something. We can all go to the
He's
moon.
working on it. It's called SpaceX.
Yeah, I know, but like just yeah, that's true. But just like get picked up at your house.
That'd be awesome.
So Elliot returned home because he's worried ET is dying. So Mary, the mom finally discovers and then discovers ET because her son is super sick and the alien is dying. And then a group of government agents dressed up in biohazards come to their house and they make a whole triage at the house and they're like a science lab at the house, so they're looking at everybody, but Michael and Mary and Gertie, they all want to get Elliot back home, Or Elliot,
E.T.
Jesus, E.T. Elliot probably wants to go too. Who knows? So E.T. recovers because E.T. gives Elliot like all of his healing power. So
Mhm.
that means that poor E.T. starts, uh, getting
Yeah, he
sicker.
turns all like pasty white and
Yeah, he keeps getting sicker and sicker. Sicker? No.
sicker.
Jesus. I'm out of it today, apparently. Anyway, when the doctors pronounce E.T. dead, Michael discovers that the chrysanthemum that E.T. previously revived is also dying. Elliot recovers, and the scientists first return him to his family, but they call him the Keys for some reason. I don't remember why they call him the Keys. They leave E they leave him alone with E.T. and Elliot says a tearful goodbye to his little dying alien friend.
Cool.
And before long, E.T.'s little heart lights up again.
Oh,
So
remember his whole chest lit up a glowy red.
his chest lit up and glowed, and so did his pointer finger.
Yeah.
And so his heart begins to glow again, and Elliot notices that the chrysanthemum is coming back to life.
Yay.
Okay. So E.T. Tells Elliot, phone home again, and so now they're on a mission.
Nice.
So Elliot and Michael steal a van, and they begin to drive far off into the universe. I don't even think they knew where they were going, but on top of a hill somewhere in San Fernando Valley, apparently. So anyway, so then they find a higher ground in the forest, and E.T.'s heart glows and he prepares to return home. And then the mom and Gertie show up, and E.T. says goodbye to Michael and Gertie, and then he presents her with the flower. And before boarding the spaceship, he embraces Elliot and tells him, "I'll be right here," and points his glowing finger to Elliot's forehead. He picks up the chrysanthemum and boards the spaceship. As the others watch it take off, the spaceship leaves a rainbow in the sky.
Wait, you forgot about the bike scene.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's carrying him. I'm not going through all of it. People can watch it.
Puts him in the basket. That's like an iconic scene in that movie.
Yeah, the reason why I didn't put that in there, Heather, is because of when I do Steven Spielberg, I was gonna get
Ah, okay.
yeah. So we'll get it
Do you remember how he hid him at first?
under the blanket.
No, not on the bikes in the house when
Yeah,
they were
and
originally trying to hide him from the mom
oh yeah, and all the toys.
in the pile of stuffed animals.
Yeah. Oh, that was the thing with me. I wanted that. I never had the ET doll. I wanted the ET doll so I could hide it in all the toys. And it's so funny because so many people have done that, like where
Uh-huh.
they hide like their dog in the
Yeah.
toys and take pictures of them. So I thought yeah, that was cute when I was little. I always wanted one of those dolls, but I never got the doll,
I don't
the,
think I had one
the
either.
stuffed toy. I don't know. So ET's voice was provided by Pat Welsh. This actress was a two-pack a day smoker,
Oh, well, there
which
you
gave
go.
her voice a distinct raspiness that worked for what they wanted on ET.
That's kind of sad.
I know. It's like if I wrote in parentheses, and also probably wasn't great for her health.
Yeah. Like probably had lung cancer at some point, but
I
you know, she made a great
know. I
ET.
know. So anyway, Spielberg and the actress Deborah Winger helped out too, uh, and as did raccoons, horses, and otters. So they got some of the sounds from different animals and
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah, but mainly it was Pat,
Nice.
the two-pack a day smoker.
Wow.
Uh,
Very 80s.
yeah, very 80s. So some fun facts about this movie. In order to capture authenticity, Steven Spielberg requested real doctors and nurses to be used in the film.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And to ensure the dialogue was genuine, they were told to treat ET like they would a normal patient.
Nice.
The film had a production budget of 10.5 million, and which is roughly 30 million today, and 10% went to the alien creature puppet for the electronics.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah.
now they just use like CGI and stuff,
Yeah.
which is probably really expensive on some of the movies he made, but probably now it's probably cheaper.
Hmm.
Um, Harrison Ford, who previously collaborated with Steven Spielberg on Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, had a small role in the film as Elliot's school principal. I don't even remember that.
I don't either.
Oh, wait, I know why we don't remember. Because
Why?
the scene was left on the cutting room floor.
Ah,
Oh, we
okay.
don't remember that. In an effort to
Nice.
capture authentic emotions for the young actors, especially at the end when they said goodbye to E.T., Steven Spielberg filmed the movie in chronological order.
Really? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's typical for stars to take home a prop or two when the film wraps. So Henry Thomas uh took the iconic red sweater.
Okay.
So the red sweater that he's wearing when he rides the bicycle to the moon.
Yeah.
And after all these years, the actresses, oh, so uh, Drew Barrymore, she took the red cowboy hat that she wears
Aw,
and she keeps it in her daughter's room now as a sweet reminder.
that's cute.
Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? The movie was released on June 11th, 1982, and remained in theaters for over a year, giving it one of the longest theatrical runs in cinema history.
Wow.
Hmm. And you know why? Because Steven Spielberg didn't want it to be released on home video.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he
That's
wanted to
weird.
make more money. This was
Yeah.
to avoid pirating and preserve the
Oh.
experience of seeing the film on the big screen. I should really read ahead before I start yapping. Anyway, however, 5 years later, in 1988, the studio released the ET on video cassette, and it sold nearly 15 million copies in
Yeah.
its first year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a popular movie, Heather.
Very popular.
And then the funny thing is, it's kind of forgotten about now. I'm surprised they haven't like
Redone it.
yeah, like remastered it into
Yeah.
maybe they have, I don't know,
I
but
don't know.
some of the content now there'd probably be warnings in the beginning,
Yeah.
you know.
It is kind of traumatic.
Yeah, traumatic, there's smoking, there's, you know.
Like when they're doing all the experiments on him and they turn the house into a bubble and everything. That's kind of
Yeah,
traumatic. I don't know. I watched it with Caleb when he was little.
yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time. I should go watch it. So that is the story of a little bit about E.T. Extraterrestrial.
Such a good movie.
Very cute movie.
Hmm.
So thanks everybody for listening to my rants and my dogs coming in and out of the room, and that I need to read ahead of all the research that I've done and read 500 times before I came on here and talked to you.
Have a lovely week, friends.